Before wasting your time, we are going to share top 5 best gaming keyboard. Number 5 on the list is Roccat Vulcan TKL Pro. The new addition to the Vulcan line, the Roccat Vulcan TKL Pro, doesn't exactly go full compact like the host of mini gaming keyboards that have recently hit the streets. This one just sacrifices the numeric keypad, only chopping a few inches off its original's form factor so that it fits small setups better without completely abandoning the necessary bits like arrow keys. The strategy isn't exactly new. Gaming keyboards like the Razer Huntsman Tournament Edition and Corsair K63 Wireless have done it years prior. However, Roccat adds its own spin to the Roccat Vulcan TKL Pro, giving it the floating keys design that's an absolute stunner and those Titan optical switches that are just a pleasure to use. The only apparent differences are the feedback and the noise level. While both are comfortable and excellent to type on, the Pro has a bit more resistance and feels bouncier, not too much that it affects your overall typing experience, but enough to be noticeable. It's also a lot quieter. Both of these could be good or bad, depending on your personal preference. Number 4 on the list is Razer Huntsman V2 Analog. Combining the latest optical technology and Razer's analog mechanical key switches, the Razer Huntsman V2 Analog is good enough to get a 5-star rating from us. That's underselling it. This gaming keyboard delivers the best typing and gaming experience of any keyboard we've tested in the last few months, with extremely satisfying tactile feedback and a wrist rest that's designed to let you game for longer. As far as keyboards go, it is sitting on the expensive side of things, but it's definitely worth it. The 3 previous downsides we listed for the Huntsman Elite 2 have been addressed for the Huntsman V2 Analog, resulting in this feature-packed keyboard only requiring a single USB-C or USB 3.0 cable for power, and the magnetic RGB wrist rest having a complete design overhaul. The keyboard even includes a USB 3.0 pass-through for additional flexibility, which is great for folk using newer peripherals that require a faster connection. In fact, we struggled to find many cons to the V2 Analog at all. The more we tested it, the more apparent it became that the features included in this latest addition to the Huntsman family could be setting the new bar for future gaming keyboards. Number 3 on the list is Corsair K100 RGB Optical. Let me start by saying that, while I was impressed by Corsair's previous offering, the K95 RGB Platinum, I struggled with the price. Struggled. No matter how good it is, $200 is a lot for any keyboard. That really was a good keyboard, taking the top spot in our best gaming keyboard guide for the last few years. That's a brief bit of context for the K100, which costs even more than its predecessor. At $230, it is 15% pricier, but will you get the 15% more out of it? Possibly. Possibly even more. The fundamental core of the K100 is very much like the K95, with the same premium quality throughout, the same overall design, the same macro keys down the left-hand side, the same metal roll in the top right corner, and the same media keys just below it, and the same double-shot keycaps. USB pass-through is easy to access, and you get a comfortable wrist rest that snaps on magnetically just like before. The K100 also has more of that lovely RGB lighting that Corsair knows we love so much. In total, there are now 44 zones for you to throw light out of. It spills out of the sides as well as out of the back too. And having rippling, wavy patterns play off your keyboard can be every bit as distracting as you can imagine. Number 2 on the list is Keychron K2, version 2. The Keychron K2 redefines affordability for wireless gaming keyboards. It's marked itself out, in the eyes of generalists, as a marvelous entry-level keyboard that can act as a gateway into the wider world of mechanicals. Starting out at just $69, you get a decent-sized gaming keyboard with great wireless functionality and Gateron mechanical switches for your money. Its design is simple with gray ABS keycaps and a slightly more compact 84-key layout that only skimps out on the numpad and offers a slightly squashed nav cluster. Whilst I've previously argued that 60% compact keyboards may be the way to go if you're a space-saving gamer, the Keychron K2's 75% offering may just make me rethink that decision. As for backlighting, there are 4 levels of lighting to choose from and a load of standard lighting effects. It's nicely vibrant and crisp and offsets the darker keycap coloring nicely, but it's a little bit of a pain having to cycle through all the presets to get to the static lighting mode. Number 1 on the list is Logitech G915 Lightspeed. If you've got your heart set on a wireless keyboard, then the Logitech G915 is a great example of the genre. It's not a peripheral we believe requires wireless functionality. We much prefer a wireless gaming MOUSE, opens in new tab, or wireless gaming HEADSET, opens in new tab. But there are a few moments when a wireless keyboard is helpful, like gaming on the couch, or if you regularly move your keyboard between devices and locations. What you get for that significant cash investment is a sleek and sturdy board plated in brushed aluminum. There are some smart media controls in the upper right-hand corner of the board, including a volume wheel that feels great to twizzle, and there's a handful of macro keys down the left side of the keyboard. These can be programmed to whatever you see fit on a per app or per game basis within the Logitech G software. Macro functionality has been shifted to a secondary program of the function keys, can be flipped via the Logitech G gaming software in order to prioritize macro functionality, in which case the FN key will revert F1 to 12 back to the original input.